Alright, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today we have episode 19 of season 3 of the Look In series, something I do at the end of each team season, where I go back, recap the team season, see what the future holds, and look in to what this team is doing. Today's episode is on the Los Angeles Lakers. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, getting closer and closer as days go on. So all support on the channel be very much appreciated. Links to my Twitter and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So talk about the Lakers today. They just got eliminated last night by the Timberwolves in the first round. Got upset. And yeah, another early exit for this Laker team. Obviously, this Laker team, they made a franchise-changing move, grabbing Luka Doncic at the deadline. Somehow it fell into their hands when before that, the future was looking kind of not great. You know, like what's after LeBron? What's after LeBron leaves? It's going to be Anthony Davis and a bunch of guys. You know, what's the future of this team hold? And now they bring in Luka Doncic, which completely resets their future. You have a 25-year-old superstar now that is going to be around for a long time, hopefully. You know, unless he doesn't want to be in the Lakers anymore. But I kind of think he's going to stay in LA. But now it's like, okay, now we could kind of reset this future. Now the outlook of this team looks entirely different. When the trade first happened, the expectations, for me at least, weren't super, super high. Making a big move like this at the deadline, bringing in a Luka Doncic who wasn't fully 100% yet. I thought this move was more for a future than for right now. You know, right now there's still going to be a decent team, but I didn't expect anything super crazy, a championship contender or anything like that in this year. And we shouldn't have expected it. But once they started to win games and once they started to go on a crazy streak and one of the hottest teams in the league at one point, that's when the idea seeped in our head of like, oh, wait a minute. Can they do something this year? Like when they first got Luka, I was expecting this year to kind of be like a wash, I guess, in a sense, where it's just like, all right, we're just going to play it out. What happens, happens. But once we get into the offseason, that's when we start really building this team out. But then once they started to win games, once we saw what they could do, once we saw what Luka and LeBron could do together, Austin Reeves do what he does, the defense really was 10 times better than what we expected. That's when we started looking at his team and be like, oh, wait, maybe this team could go far and win a championship or make it to a conference finals like now, this year. Maybe they're good enough. And they win 50 games, they get into the third seed in the West, and it's like, oh, shoot, this Laker team can go on a run. We get to the first round, and the Minnesota Timberwolves fully kind of expose what the faults of this Laker team are, which is what we thought coming into this. Like the way the Lakers look in this series is how I thought the Lakers are going to look in the regular season. Whereas like, all right, a lot of LeBron and Luka ball. The role players are like, okay, whatever. The lack of a big man is going to really come into factor. And it showed in that series where Minnesota played a heck of a series. They dominated them. They're out early. And now we go into this offseason, and it's a kind of a big offseason for the Lakers. It's kind of a big offseason. I mean, you have a 40-year-old Bron, who we know, obviously, we've known for the past couple years. There's not much time left. You know, he has a play option for next year. I assume he's going to take that and stay in LA. Now you have Luka. Now he's going to have a full offseason with the Lakers. You know, so we now have a full offseason with that mindset of we have Luka Doncic. He's also up for an extension next offseason, so we'll see if we pay him that early. Austin Reeves is also eligible for an extension in this offseason, where he had a really good season. Not a great playoff series. So maybe, who knows what the money looks like then. And now it's time to build this team out. I like a lot of things you have in this team. I like Dorian Finney-Smith here. He has a player option next year. I like Dorian Finney-Smith. I like some of the things you have here. But obviously, like, number one on the bulletin board, go get a center. You know, we need a big man. And some of the free agents out there, Clint Capella is out there for agency. I don't know the exact, free agent list off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's some really serviceable big. It's not like they need an all-star big man. You know, you don't need a Jaron Allen, or you don't need a freaking, like a Al Horford. You just need a serviceable big that can be a lob threat and block shots. That's all he needs to do. And Clint Capella can do that, even though he gets older now. Clint Capella literally has made a career off just, rebounding, blocking shots, and catching lobs from James Harden and Trae Young. And now, if they do get Clint Capella to go to Luka Doncic, having another lob threat is just big. That's what they need. And that unlocks so many different things. Having a lob threat with Luka Doncic unlocks so many different things. You saw in the Minnesota Timberwolves series how the Timberwolves said, okay, they don't have a big man that we trust, so that eliminates that. Luka, you just go one-on-one all the time. They force Luka to be a one-on-one to ISO type of player because they know, they don't have a big man they can do pick and roll with consistently and they can get open looks. so the four doesn't space out a little bit more. So we're just a Luka go one on one. So having a big man obviously helps a lot, not only offensively, but defensively, obviously, as well, where you're going to have to go up, especially in the Western Conference. Jokic is there, Wemby is there. Like you have a lot of teams that, I mean, you have a lot of teams that are big. You have Rudy and Julius Randle, in Minnesota. And, like, obviously, you need a big man. You need a big man that can block shots and just a presence down there in the paint. That's what they need. But also, I mean, obviously, it's also going to be a lot about filling out these wings of this team and, what the, like, the 3 and D kind of wings. Rui Hachimura is solid, but I don't know how much he really fits this team. In terms of a 3 and D wing, he's also eligible for an extension. He's going to be on the last year of his deal. Maybe flipping Ruri and getting something else will be nice. And then obviously filling out a bench. I mean, this bench in this postseason couldn't really play. I mean, they went a whole second half without playing anyone on the bench. Like Vincent Vanderbilt, Don Connect still young. Like just filling out a bench, obviously, and getting some good role players. But I'm not really worried about what this Lakers team is. Again, this rest of this season, the second half of the year for the Lakers wasn't supposed to be going on a championship run. It was supposed to be seeing what Luka Doncic looks like, seeing maybe if some of these young guys can develop a little bit more and, playing the season out. And this move is really more for the future because now we have a 25-year-old Luka Doncic that could be the face of our franchise for the next 10 plus years when we keep him around. And we're going to have so many different chances at putting a team around him that can go far because we've already seen multiple times before, just giving him decent basketball players, he can bring you far in the playoffs. He can. Of course, this year didn't happen, but he was just in the NBA Finals last year with not an insane amount of talent. It was a good team, but not like a championship contender, not a top 2 team in the league, like not that type of team. And he made it to the conference finals a couple years ago, 2022, with also a roster that wasn't really super crazy. So we already seen, you just put a competent-ish roster around Luka Doncic, he could take you far. And that's what that's the next step for the Lakers. Let's build a competent roster. Let's get an actual center. Let's get some bench pieces that can actually play in a playoff series. I know it's hard. Role players like that don't come around every so often. But now you tell a role player, hey, you come to LA and play with Luka Doncic, LeBron James. I'm sure a lot of them want to go over there. Win a championship. So yeah, I'm not really frightened about this Laker. They lost the first round. Obviously, it was a disappointing. It was an upset. They losing 5 games after a great end to the season. I understand that, and they have the right to be kind of disappointed and angry and all that stuff. You never want to lose like that. But the future of this team is still pretty good because you still have Luka Doncic. So, hey, things could be a lot worse. Things could be a whole lot worse. But yeah, the plan coming into this offseason, let's go get a center. Let's try to get some minimum contracts and try to, fix some of the things on this team, get some more depth here, get some guys that can actually, play minutes in a playoff series, even if he's not closing out the game, at least playing minutes in the playoff series would be cool. And yeah, I mean, you still have Austin Reeves. We'll see what happens in the offseason with him. We'll see what happens in the offseason with Rui Hachimura. We'll see what happens, what Don Connect maybe. Do they flip Don Connect now after, the trade deadline fiasco where he was supposed to get traded, doesn't get traded, comes back, he didn't play in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. JJ Redick is gonna have another full offseason kind of think. I like JJ Redick as a coach. I think the Lakers are in a good spot, man. I think the Lakers are fine. I mean, obviously it's the Lakers, so people are gonna overreact and people are gonna say what they say because it's the Lakers and people love to trash on the Lakers or whatever. But I mean, I think they're in a good spot because you have Luka Doncic, and they're gonna have. And the good thing is they're coming into the offseason knowing what the plan should be and knowing what they have. Like knowing that okay, we have Luka, we're gonna have LeBron. Now we know what our faults are. We know that we need center play. We know that we need more shooting. Like we know what we need. So let's go into the offseason and really address this. Even JJ Redick saying like we need a championship level offseason this year. And I assume that Rob Pelinka and what the Lakers do, they see what they did this year and see that we were even better than expected this year. We can really do this. Let's go put all our chips in the middle of the table. And this is the point now where you have to put all our chips in the middle of the table. Because especially now with Luka, there's not going to be any more seasons of being like a 41 win team, a 9 seed. Like that's not happening anymore. Luka Doncic in Dallas wasn't, a 9 seed or anything like that. Like he was firmly in the playoffs with those Mavericks teams. which really halted the Mavericks on making all those. The only way they got any top picks was they had to force Luka and Kyrie to kind of sit out the last couple weeks so they could get that pick back in 2023, and that's how they got Derek Lively, who was a big part of them going to the finals. This now there's no more first round picks of the Lakers, no more experimenting that. Now it's all right. All our chips in the middle of the table. We have to build championship contenders around Luka Doncic. That's what the goal is. And we finally go into the offseason with a goal, with a plan, with what we need to do. And now all they need to do is go out and execute. So yeah, I'm not sweating about the Lakers. You should not panic about the Lakers. They'll be fine. They'll be good. We gotta wait what their offseason plans are, what actual moves are they gonna make. But I expect the Lakers to be back in the position like this next year, maybe even better. Who knows? If they do make the right moves and Luka comes out and does what Luka does, like this could be another really good team this year. I'm expecting to be another really good team. It's just crazy. It's still kind of crazy that Luka Doncic is a Laker. We're talking about this like it's normal. It's still wild to me, but hey, just gotta live with it now. So yeah, Lakers offseason plan. That's what it is. Go get a better big. Go get some depth. Go get some shooters, and run it back next year. Yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications to all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. Once again, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so all support on our channel be very much appreciated. There's a playlist up here somewhere. You can go and check out all the other episodes of the Look In series. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.